It's definitely possible. In fact, we've got some near examples in our own solar system. For those who aren't Star Wars fans, this is Hoth from Empire Strikes Back. And if you're still not following, just imagine Siberia, northern Canada, Scandinavia or Antarctica, but worldwide. Completely covered in ice and snow, and temperatures never go above freezing. I would say Jupiter's moon Europa is pretty close to Hoth. The entire surface is one gigantic ice cap, and that ice is frozen water. It's actually believed that underneath that ice there is an ocean of warm water, courtesy of tidal forces from nearby Jupiter. Like how the power of the moon's gravity moves oceans on the Earth. Granted, it's not as exciting as Hoth because it doesn't have a bigger atmosphere and it's just a small moon, but there is potential for life to exist down there for a start. My second example is Neptune's moon Triton, but this one isn't quite the same. It's one of the coldest bodies in the solar system. It's actually colder than Pluto. Its surface temperature is 40 degrees above absolute zero. It's so cold that all of those white streaks on there, that's not snow. And that's not ordinary ice either. It's frozen nitrogen. Yeah, it's so cold on that moon's surface that nitrogen is frozen solid ice. It even has a thin atmosphere of nitrogen that freezes into a solid ice cap every winter. Its average surface temperature is minus 235 degrees Celsius. You see all these little black streaks on the surface, on the ice cap? They are actually geysers, where the faint heat of the sun manages to penetrate the ice cap, and liquid nitrogen warms to a point where it can burst up and eject from the surface. And once the steam reaches a certain altitude, it meets high altitude winds and they end up turning a right angle. And you can bet it probably rains back down, much in the same way ash and debris does in a volcanic eruption on Earth. I'd say this could be a more extreme version of Hoth, where the snow is nitrogen instead of water. And the third possibility that I have, this is more of a hypothesis. 700 million years ago, right here on Earth, there's a hypothesis called Snowball Earth. Some of you may have heard of it. It's where the entire planet was completely frozen over, mostly due to low solar activity and possibly a few volcanic eruptions. So it's definitely possible. I mean, look at our nearest planets, Venus and Mars. Venus is a volcanic hellscape covered by a thick layer of cloud, and Mars is a freezing cold desert. It's definitely plausible that somewhere out there might actually be a real-life Hoth. Though I seriously doubt it would be an exact replica because, if I remember correctly, Hoth was very close to an asteroid belt and was repeatedly pounded by meteorites. I don't see a world like that staying frozen for long if it's constantly pounded by asteroids.